What's up, metalheads? It's your main man, Eddie Monster here, right? And we got a special edition here. I don't know where to put this. Is this Rock and Metal News Bite-Size Edition? Is this Eddie's Top 5? Is it just me rambling? Maybe. But there's a whole purpose to this particular clip that you're watching. I was cruising on my phone, bored as usual, and I came upon this list. And this person posted a list that said, who did it better, right? Was it 90s grunge, which should actually be called 90s alternative, because that's what it really is at this point, alternative rock? Or was it metal from the 90s? And if you're trying to see what I'm saying, here it is for you right here. Now, I made the list big because I wanted you guys to see exactly who they posted. So these are 5 bands on one side and 5 bands on another side, right? So clearly they've got Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and Nirvana. I think they put Stone Temple Pilots there, in my opinion, because they ran out of bands that were big, that were grunge, even though, I mean, it could be, Plush could be considered a grunge album, but everything else after that really wasn't, all right? And then here on Team Metal, you've got Slayer, you got Megadeth, you got Sepultura, Pantera, and Metallica, okay? Now, I'm going to go through this list, and I'm going to tell you my opinion on this. Number one, I think the list is kind of unfair in a way. And what I mean about that is when you want to say who dominated music in the 90s, I think it's kind of unfair to list metal bands that got their start in the 80s, okay? And even though, I mean, you could say the same thing, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Nirvana all kind of started the late 80s there. But Slayer, Megadeth, and Metallica were already established acts, okay? And by 1986, they had their biggest albums ever, right? Slayer with Rain and Blood, Megadeth with Peace Sells, and Metallica, obviously, with Master of Puppets. And then from there, those bands just got bigger as it went. I mean, obviously, Slayer, obviously after Rain and Blood, it was South of Heaven, Seasons in the Abyss, Undisputed Attitude, or whatever that album's called. And, for Megadeth, you got So Far, So Good, So What, Rust in Peace. I mean, just on and on, Countdown to Extinction, Euthanasia. Just amazing, amazing records, okay? Metallica, we don't need to talk about Metallica. We already know what the fuck Metallica's released, okay? And Justice for All, the Black Album, Load, Reload. We know, all right? So 3 of those are kind of unfair, right? Sepultura I will agree with, and Pantera I will agree with for 2 reasons, right? Sepultura got really huge in the 90s. Chaos AD, Roots, so on and so forth. Pantera, same thing. Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display of Power, the Far Beyond Driven, so on and so forth. So 2 of those bands are legit. But let's look at the 90s for a second, right? For grunge. You got Alice in Chains, you got Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and Nirvana, right? The 4 really big grunge acts who almost all, Pearl Jam is the exception to this rule because Alice in Chains was kind of done by 95-ish, I want to say 95-ish, 96. Same thing with Soundgarden. They were kind of done by 96, just 97, sort of. And then obviously Nirvana done by 95 or 96, whatever it was, whenever Kurt committed suicide. They were done by that point, right? I think it was 94, 95, I don't remember. Anyways, so it's another unfair list, again, because now these bands only had half the time to really produce music versus bands like Pantera, who were around for almost the whole entire decade. And Sepultura, despite having a vocalist change, was around for the whole entire 90s as well. So, again, kind of an unfair list. All right, so with that being said, I wanted to come up with my own list that I think would be a fair battle if you're going to throw up Team Grunge against Team Metal. And there were some bands that I left off the list because arguably, and they did have some impact. But ultimately, here's what I went with, okay? You've got still Alice in Chains, STP, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and Nirvana for Team Grunge. But Team Metal, we've got Gwar, we've got Typo Negative, Sepultura, Pantera, and then the almighty Tool, okay? Tool arguably is probably one of the most musically talented groups out of all of them on that list, right? That during a time when grunge, or alternative rock, as they called it, was becoming the big thing, Tool came in with a very dark, very just awesome, amazing ambiance that came with their music, their progressive metal sound that they had. Tool was just uncanny. So right there, I'm automatically saying that Tool beat out a lot of those bands, okay, in my opinion. Then we got Gwar. Gwar's the band that started off as a joke, all right, towards the whole metal attitude, is a band that is still going strong today despite not having Oderus Urungus in the group, right? Dave Brockie. Then you got Typo Negative, right, which came in with this very gothic, vampire-esque kind of music and sound that was just wow, right? They influenced so many bands like him, the 69 Eyes. I mean, we can go on and on and on. Peter Steele, rest in power, my friend. Such a brilliant, brilliant mind. And there you go. Now you guys can argue amongst yourselves who you think did the better job. Now, we could look at album sales, of course, and you can lean Team Grunge if you want to go album sales, because obviously Alice in Chains sold millions, Soundgarden sold millions, Pearl Jam sold millions, Nirvana sold millions, and obviously STP did too, and that's a legitimate argument to make, right? If we're going by album sales and those are what dominate which part inside did better, then yeah, obviously you're going to lean Team Grunge, because for 4 or 5 years those guys cleaned house. I mean, they destroyed a genre that was on top of the charts in hair metal. So it's argued maybe they are the winners. But I'm a metal guy, so I'm generally going to lean more towards Team Metal, just based off of 4 of the names alone on that list. Gwar, I've always been, hit or miss with. I love Gwar, but not as much as I love Typo Negative or Sepultura, Pantera, Tool. List goes on and on. So, obviously, the list is subjective. Here is now something that you can argue for. You know what I mean? So, remember, stay metal. And don't forget, most important, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. We try to come up with as much content as we possibly can for you to enjoy. And we love doing it too. I love doing this. So check it out. Make up your own mind on the lists. Think about it. Who are you going to take based on criteria? And remember to keep watching the channel. We'll see you guys next time. Stay metal.